Hi, this is Jacques Taylor, and you're listening to JacquesTalk. This is a podcast where I talk about the Cowboys, the team I've covered as a beat writer, columnist, TV insider, and radio host for 28 years. I'll also talk about the NFL and the things I love, working out, streaming, food, and all things down. Welcome to JacquesTalk, where sports is fluid. What's true today might not be true an hour, a day, or a month from now. I'm going to give you the truth straight, no chaser. Glad to have you aboard. Let's get it. What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 160 of JacquesTalk. I'm Jacques Taylor, joined by my boy Big Joe and the Big Rig. What's the sit rep, bro?
Let's see. We are 48 seconds in. The light is red, and we are 5 by 5. Operation JacquesTalk is a go.
That is music to my ears. I am glad to hear that. 60, my friend. Now, that's Tyler. What's his name?
Tyler Guyton right now.
Yeah, that's Tyler Guyton. I was thinking... And this name just popped in my head. I have no rhyme or reason why it popped in my head. And it could be right or it could be wrong. Don Smerrick.
That's exactly what I was thinking. and you know what's funny is we're going to miss somebody. I don't know too many 60s from the 70s. 61 was always a good number. But I don't know right off the top of my head. You might get beat up, but Don Smerrick is who came to mind.
And I ain't thought about Don Smerrick in 100 years.
Yep.
And so I have no idea. I don't even know when Don Smerrick played. He played when I was a kid?
Seemed like the 80s.
This is just wild.
He was go ahead.
No, I do have a personal note for you from something you said the other day. You had me curious, so I looked it up. Don Smerrick, he played 6 years. That's why I remember him.
Yep.
1981 through 1987.
Yep, backup defensive lineman. Sometime he started.
Yeah. That's kind of, no. Well, he started 4 games in 7 years.
Yeah.
One in his first 6 seasons.
Yeah.
So somebody got hurt one day. He got 3 starts.
Hey, he was good enough to be there 6 years. He got the pinch.
Yeah. Ain't nothing wrong with that. This is what I looked up. Rico Dowdle is no relation to the Dowdle at Nebraska who had the
wow, they look, they body types are the same. I thought they might be brothers or something.
They kind of look the same, but actually Nebraska's Dowdle is from Mississippi.
Okay.
Rico Dowdle is from North Carolina. And Nebraska's Dowdle is Dowdell. Rico is Dowdle. Now, I only did that because I'm a reporter and I'm naturally curious. I'm so curious, just so y'all know, I just be doing this for real. When I read, I keep my phone with me because if I come across a fact that I find interesting or a word I don't know, I stop and look up that fact or look up the word to educate myself while I'm reading. So,
okay, it's crazy how they pronounce it. Some people say Dowdell, some people say Dowdle.
Check this out, man. Some people say Dorset. Some people say Dorset.
Some people say some people say Hatfield. Some people say Hartfield. I had a drill sergeant. Is your name Hartfield? Drill sergeant. My name is whatever you want. As long as you leave me alone. How about that? That's what I thought. I didn't say nothing.
Right.
There you go.
I hear that. So this is Tuesday. We are locked and loaded. We actually had 5 plays in. I was struggle to put them together because this game actually had a lot of interesting plays in it. But can I tell y'all something? I was working on a project all day yesterday with Content Dave, and by the time I got home to doing the 5 plays, I was so sleepy I dozed off between 3 and 4. And let me tell you what motivation is. The sound of Big Joe and the Big Rig yelling at me, fussing at me, or cussing me out in the morning because I ain't sending him on time. Give him enough time to do him the way he wanted to do him without rushing is why I woke up and sent him when I sent him, and then I was asleep about 10 minutes after I did.
Oh, that explains a lot.
I had to go in and I had to go back in and put some times in, and even then they was backwards.
Yeah, so. That's okay. That explains. That's understandable. It's understandable anyway. It ain't the end of it, but that's why it's like I went back over and looked at him. It's like, I think that's out of order. Let me switch that because I'm liable to push the button out of order anyway. I don't need no help.
Nah, so I was telling Content Dave this morning. Because we started at about 8 o'clock yesterday. Actually, I left the house before 8 o'clock because I had to be there at 8:30. So I probably left the house at 7:45, 7:50. And then by the time we finished, it was about 6:30. And there was some time in between, but it was a full day. I didn't get home until, well, that's another story.
Well, you got a lot of plates spinning.
Yeah, dog, it's fun. I tell you, we're going to get to the fireplace, but I tell you, it's fun to work for yourself, but it's, it is work for yourself. If you don't work, guess what you don't do?
You don't get paid.
You don't pay no groceries.
Nope.
Hey, that's a different world. I be trying to tell that to my kids.
Some hustle in it.
Because you're right. Because kids are kids. Hey, Dad, can I have $20? Hey, Dad, this happened. Hey, Papa, this happened. I need $300. Oh, this I forgot to tell you this was coming up. I be telling you, y'all can't hit me with. I mean, surprises happen. That's life. But this whole, I forgot to tell you that I need this. I said, hey, ain't no check on the 1st and 15th from your boy.
Hey, man, I sat outside the doggone tuxedo place at 7:59, 7:55 waiting on it to open because somebody told me at the last minute they had to get a tuxedo, and I'm going, man. I started sounding like my mom, like how you get that parent where you talking and you can't stand your own voice, and it's like, dog, what make you think? Yeah, I guess I got time. You got time to give it to me the last minute? I got time to holler at you a little bit. So I understand all of that.
So the hustle is real. It's fun though. I ain't complaining. It's fun. I enjoy it. And guess what? I ain't gonna never lay me off. You hear that? I promise you. I ain't gonna never lay me off. I ain't gonna never send me a package about, hey, would you consider taking this package? Not gonna happen. And with that said, let's get to the 5 plays before we talk to our buddy Todd Archer this morning. Now, this was an interesting ball game, as me and Joe have discussed. 20-17 come from behind Cowboys win. It had a lot of ebb and flow to it for a game that let me go to the videotape for y'all. Because I want y'all to know this. I be keeping it real and I be telling the truth. For a game that I sent Joe a text at 9:54 that said, "This is a boring ass paint watching game," and but it livened up at the end. And this is what happens sometimes in these close games that are very boring. Somebody got to win, so they become very exciting at the end because they were so close. And you forget about some of the boredom to it. With that being said, man, the first play happened very early on in the game. And these are really, when we talk about 5 plays that shape the game, a lot of them on purpose are not scoring plays or traditional plays or plays that you might have forgot about, as you were watching the game. But one of these first ones, man, is the Steelers' first possession. The Cowboys are up 3-0 after yet another long field goal by Brandon Aubrey. And on first down, they picked up, you knew they was going to come out with this, man. Justin Fields ran right in. Let's see if we can get some of this Lamar Jackson action going. They picked up 8 yards. And they ended up getting the first down. And then on 2nd and 10, from the Pittsburgh 37, the game took a turn.
So thin on the edge, and they look at the rookie, Nealon.
Basically, Marshawn Nealon got hurt on that play. It was Justin Fields went around left in for 5 yards. And it was kind of a non-contact injury when you went back and looked at the videotape. And those are always got you holding your breath because non-contact, it feels like 99.9% of the time is a torn ACL. We'll see it this time next year. That, however, was not the case on this one. It's not great, but it's better than what you thought it was. He's got a torn LCL, which is a lateral collateral ligament. I think he's scheduled for surgery today or tomorrow.
Yeah, that's the outside ligament.
Yes.
Yeah, I sprained an MCL before. Yeah.
I was going to say, you got your MCL, your PCL, your LCL, and your ACL.
All that.
4 ligaments hold the knee together. But the bigger issue for the Cowboys is now they got to play the rest of the game with a bunch of dudes named Jimmy out there playing defensive end.
I appreciate that. You wanted to say a bunch of dudes named Joe, but it's all right. No offense taken.
And so what happens is, if you think about it, man, Sam Williams supposed to be a starter. He was gone in training camp. And Michael Parsons, he gone. Tank Lawrence, the starter, he gone. Now Marshawn Kneeland is gone. That's your top 4 defensive ends gone.
Dang.
Exactly. And they ain't coming back no time soon except for Micah. So at that point, I was like, this could be a long day for the Dallas Cowboys defense, because who knows how these cats named Jimmy going to play, because they ain't really had to rely on him, and now they're finna get a full dose. But they held up well. Did not get overwhelmed by Pittsburgh's offense. Now, this was just one game. And so, kudos to them. They stepped up, held Pittsburgh to 92 yards on 26 carries, a long of 8, which is really, really good, really impressive. But we all know Pittsburgh got a raggedy offense.
They showed
a Rudy Poot offensive line. And
we needed that.
I was going to say, hey, it came at a good time.
Yes, sir.
But we'll get a much truer indication of the effects of Kneeland being out when they play Detroit this week. And that's going to be an all-day sucker. Detroit going to test them on the run. That's a tough matchup for them. But they surprised me last week. Perhaps they can find a way to surprise me again. I would not be opposed to that. I never am. But it's going to be a tough one for them to make it happen. But that was early in the game with Marshawn Kneeland. Later in the first quarter, the Cowboys, the game is tied at 3, but your Cowboys are moving the ball. They're having some success, and they've gotten 4 first downs on this drive that started at their own 24. It felt like a month's worth of first downs for this offense. But the part of the game plan was get the ball out early, don't be greedy. Let's try to keep T.J. Watt from controlling the game and dominating the game. And, I forgot, man, that Herberg dude is pretty daggone good. And between the two of them at the defensive ends or the rush ends, they were just giving the Cowboys steel and guiding all kind of problems. That being said, the Cowboys have gotten a big play, a beautiful pass from from Dak to CeeDee Lamb for 27 yards. And then right after that, they hit CD for 19. So they're moving the ball. They at the 1st and 10 at the 15. Tolbert goes to 4. Rico gets stopped for no gain. So it's 3rd and 6. And you're thinking, all right, it's cool. They got a chance to go up at worst 6-3. At best, they're finna score here. Because if you can separate a little bit from this Pittsburgh offense, they not coming back. And then 3rd and 6, here's how it went down.
Run so far. 3rd and 6. Watt chasing. Coming in. Ball out. Herbig jumps on it. And the Steelers have forced the turnover. And T.J. Watt in the middle at the moment yet again.
I mean, right then, that was it. Fumble. And I put that one on Dak because he held the ball too long. Your internal clock got to go off. Terrence Steele is over there. You're not going to have it all day. I mean, you're just not going to have it, dog. Your internal clock got to go off real quick. I used to play Joe in Madden all the time. The reason I became good at throwing to the tight end, I never had time to throw to the wide receivers. I'd get sacked. So what I'm saying is my internal clock used to go off and boop, here I go throwing these little short 8-yard passes, because if I try to do anything else, I'm going to get sacked. And Dak had to have that alarm go off in his head, and it didn't. And that resulted in a turnover and a lost scoring opportunity for a team that can't really afford that.
I think he's been pretty good all year by knowing what Terrence Steele is. Because there's a couple times against the Giants, he just kind of leaned back, or he jumped up, or he moved forward. His awareness been on. Just wasn't right then. You can't have no slippers against doggone T.J. Watt.
Well, the problem is he's human. And so he made a human mistake.
Oh, definitely.
And we forget that athletes are human.
He's been pretty good. Because I'm telling you, from his right side, he got to have that bionic hearing. Because it's coming over there. But Guyton gave it up to Herbig on the same play.
Right.
So the offensive line on some days against a good pass rush, they're going to look like the new people that they are. They're going to look bad as they are. And yesterday or the other day they did.
Exactly. They had another turnover in the red zone, Dak interception. And so they leading 6-3 at halftime, but it's like, damn, they should really be up. Pittsburgh gets a touchdown pass from Justin Fields, 16 yards to start the third quarter. It's 10-6. And right then you're like, hey, how did this game go from in control to out of control? Somebody explain that to me, please. Because this is not how it's supposed to be. And the Cowboys cannot afford to get too far behind in this game. Because, again, the Cowboys' offense is shady too. So they don't need to get behind and be playing from behind. And so they take the possession, man. They drive the length of the field. And then we get a holding call on 2nd and 10. So now it's 3rd and 17. A little short pass to Ferguson. Sets up Mr. Automatic. Except it didn't go like that. Content Dave giving me that look.
Aubrey for his 3rd of the night to make it a 1-point game. Oh, it gets blocked. The Steelers are such a good kick block team over the years.
Dude, let me tell y'all something. I don't care that Content Dave is here. You know, Brandon Aubrey's his boy. They both kickers. They got the same kicking coach. That, in 2 years, was the worst kick Brandon Aubrey has had with the Dallas Cowboys. And I say that because the reason it got blocked is it was so far left, that dude was never supposed to have a chance. He was just doing his job. He's never supposed to have a chance to touch it because if it goes straight, it's not even close to him. And so that thing was headed wide left. Brandon Aubrey's human. Surprise, surprise. He made a poor kick, and it resulted in a block. Bones Fossil said yesterday that, he mishit the ball. That's why it went left. He said it probably wasn't going to make it anyway because it was so far left. So newsflash, Brandon Aubrey is human, but I still take him over any other kicker in the National Football League, bro.
Roger that.
So it's still 10-6. And, you're starting to wonder about Dallas. And then we don't root for injuries in the National Football League because these are all men trying to take care of their families. But on 2nd and 10 from the Dallas 21, the game changed on this play.
Home in Western PA tonight. 2nd and 10, pressure from the edge. He got rid of it in time. And Ferguson to the first down to the 34-yard line. Beanie Bishop tackling Jake Ferguson.
Man, if you're going to play the Pittsburgh Steelers and their edge players, and here comes Herbig off the field, he's the one that got contact on the outside against Dak, and he's now coming out.
Hey, man, Herbig was a problem. In addition to Watt being a problem, that's why the offense was kind of shady at times, because if one of them didn't get you, the other one got you. They were both bringing pressure. They were both bringing heat. Herbig had 2 tackles. He had a sack, a tackle for loss, a quarterback hit, a fumble recovery, and it seemed like he had more than that because he was everywhere.
I'm sorry. Where is he from?
Wisconsin, Doc. They got 3 starters from Wisconsin on the Pittsburgh Steelers defense, which is crazy.
They know how to find them.
No, they know how to find and develop. They recruit and develop. The Cowboys draft and develop. Program like Wisconsin recruits and develops. But here's what happened. Herbig went out, and all of a sudden, you only got to worry about T.J. Watt.
Right.
That's all you got to worry. Okay, we need to chip him and then put it back in and get him. Okay, cool. He's still going to do what he do, but now he can't we don't have to worry about the other side so much, and now we can kind of operate. And so what happens? The Cowboys actually end that drive with a touchdown pass to Rico Dowdle, and they end that drive, 16 plays, 90 yards, and they're up 13-10 in the fourth quarter. Pittsburgh, as we know, takes a 17-13 lead. Dak get a chance to be the hero. With a $60 million man deliver. 1st and 10 at the 30, 4:56 left. Dak, I thought they was taking too much time, but he moves them down the field methodically. They convert a 3rd down, a couple of them. And here it is, man. 1st and goal at the 4. Dak almost gets in. Young Dak would have scored. Old Dak is just a tick slower coming off that off that ankle from a couple years ago. And so it's 2nd and goal at the 1. And this went down, man.
What a scene. Both teams out 4. Prescott. Throws, crossing, it's caught for the touchdown! It's Tolbert! Stays in the game and grabs it for the score!
Well, that ain't really the play I was talking about. But we're glad the Cowboys ended with a dub. Now, I was talking about the fumble, man. Now Joe's looking at the notes like, oh. But anyway.
Hold on.
Home in Western PA tonight.
Oh.
Second and 10, pressure from the edge. He got rid of it in time. And Ferguson the first down to the 34-yard line. Beanie Bishop tackling Jake Ferguson.
No.
Man, if you're going to play...
I think we got before and after. But the key was Dak, the Rico fumbles, Dak alertly pounces on the ball because can you imagine yet another red zone turnover resulting in an L? Life as we know it in Dallas would have ended because they'd have lost the game, a game that they should have won. They'd have been looking at, in my opinion, a 3-game losing streak of 2-5. Everybody getting fired at the end of the year. Nobody coming. I mean, disaster could still occur, but it ain't gonna occur because they fumbled at the goal line and had yet another red zone turnover and lost the game that they should have won. So the Dak alertly fumbles on the ball, and they made a good note of this. I think Collinsworth did it. That when your quarterback, if you haven't paid attention to this, you should pay attention to it. Look at the fakes that quarterbacks carry out after they give up the ball on a lot of running plays just throughout the game. Part of your assignment is get the ball up and then complete some fake. And maybe it holds somebody, maybe it doesn't. Well, they tell you when you get inside the red zone near the goal line not to carry out the fake so much, but to watch for the ball in case it comes loose. And he actually did that. It's a very fundamental thing. Recovered the fumbles. In my opinion, saved the game and the season. $60 million man was on his game. Cowboys triumph 20-17. Big win for them. They got Detroit coming up this week. And to me, if they can figure out a way to get one of the next two, don't matter which one. Detroit at the crib seems to me to be a little easier, but maybe San Francisco's so banged up, maybe they're easier. It doesn't matter. Can you figure out a way, as Grandma used to say, by hook or by crook, to get one of these next two, so that you 4-3 heading into the bye? 3-4 is not the end of the world, but 4-3 heading into the bye, given all the injuries, that would be something where you could go, you know what? They're showing a little grit. If they can get a little health and a little luck, maybe they can make something happen. Now, that's a lot of ifs and buts and nuts. But hey, maybe it can go down. Let's give Todd Archer a call, Doc. Todd Archer brought to you each and every Wednesday by Smokey John's Barbecue, home of the Jam Session Bowl, and at least while they're at the State Fair for the next 2.5 weeks, the Jones Deli and the Pastrami Sandwich.
Hello.
What's up, bro?
What's going on?
How you doing? How was your
Great.
trip to Pittsburgh?
It wasn't just a trip to Pittsburgh. It was a trip to Fayetteville on Friday for the game against Tennessee on Saturday, and then I was up for 24 straight hours.
Were you really?
I was.
Okay.
Yep.
I mean, we're going to get to the football stuff, but in case you didn't know, one of Todd's beautiful young ladies goes to University of Arkansas. So he was there for the game. How was the game?
It was great.
We know Arkansas won, but I know you like college football. But how was the atmosphere and all of that?
Yeah, it was. It was really cool. I mean, I didn't grow up in Massachusetts. We don't think college football exists, so I didn't have this atmosphere at any of the games I ever went to growing up. But yeah, no, man, it was cool to see, and it was funny being with Arkansas people that just thought for sure Tennessee was going to go down and score on the last drive, and then when they did, it was just pandemonium. You see everybody rushing the field stuff. But then, so stayed in downtown Fayetteville, got back to the hotel like 11:30. My flight out of Fayetteville was at 5:30. You can never sleep in that scenario. So I was up at like 2:30, something like that. Take off, fly to Chicago, fly to Pittsburgh, get to the hotel. Can't sleep, obviously. Go to the game. Oh, there's a 90-minute rain delay. Got back to after the game. You're right. Got back to their hotel at 3:30. My flight was at 6:30.
Nope, can't sleep then. Now, I used to tell people all the time, man, that part that you just said there, that's the glamorous part of being a big-time reporter's life that nobody ever talks about. That get back from a night game to your hotel at 2 or 3 in the morning, then your flight is at 6 because you got to get back for the news conferences that day, and then you got to write off of those and hope like hell that nothing really goes down Tuesday so you can catch up a little bit on your rest. I don't.
So you're not letting me catch up on my rest right now. Is what you finally admitted.
Hey, that's because we're brothers, man. So it is what it is.
The physical aspect is one thing, but keeping the mental together, that would be my problem with all that. Without all that rest, that's pretty incredible. You got to do that.
Well, I'm gonna speak for me. Every story is not your best story. Sometimes you just got to put the work in and get it done. And sometimes them day after stories are, let me put the work in, make sure it's solid, and let me try to find some sleep somewhere.
Yeah,
but that was me. Todd holds himself to a much higher standard.
Driving extra,
sure,
driving extra or unloading extra, that's physical. But the mental, I don't know if I could keep it straight, but not no damn sleep.
Nah, well, the mental is always interesting. My dad has written a lot of. He's written 2 or 3, 4 books. He does a lot of academic papers, and he says, I have no idea how you and your reporter guys put together stories in an hour. He said, I don't even get my first paragraph in my head right for a couple, 3 hours. And I was like, hey, that's the nature of the beast, man. That being said, what was your takeaway from the Cowboys' thrilling, yet boring, yet thrilling 20-17 win over Pittsburgh?
They needed it, right? I mean, they couldn't go 2-3.
Right.
But then you look at what's coming down the road here with the schedule and how that plays out. So they needed it. And I think we often talk about like the how they win is something that can carry over. And like you said, it wasn't perfect. There were far too many penalties, and they red zone mistakes by Dak, took points off the board and da-da-da-da-da. But they left with a win. And sometimes when you leave with a win like that, you throw a touchdown pass with 20 seconds ago can help you carry over. And we'll see. Not like it only carries over if it does, right? So that now if you were 2-3 going into Detroit, San Francisco, at Atlanta, Philadelphia, Houston, or Washington, I don't think you'd be feeling too good about the team's chances to make the playoffs. And you still might not feel too good about it, but at least at 3-2, you're still in position to be in position. Right. 2-3, I realize it's one game and the season's not over, blah, 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 blah. But the mindset of the team, I think, would be completely different. Or maybe the mindset around the team is probably a better way of saying it, will be completely different. And now, if you can sneak this win against Detroit, 4-2, bye week, then going to San Francisco, okay, maybe you got a little something there. These guys coming back from injury. By the way, I just reminded myself of something that I looked up.
What's that?
In their next 6 games, the Cowboys only play one team presently below 500. That team is San Francisco.
All righty then. I guess we'll find out a little something about the fellas. San Francisco got some weird mojo going on right now. So maybe this is the year they can get them. But what's the latest on Marshawn Nealon and how do they operate with no defensive ends?
Yeah, he's getting his knee scoped today, so it's a 4 to 6 week type thing. Certainly better than the alternative, because when it happened, and it was really non-contact, it wasn't like he got hit off to the side and his knee bent and all that. I was like, oh, that's an ACL. Like, just your mind, that's what it tells you. But
right,
it's just a meniscus deal. You fix that, and hopefully he's back in 4 to 6 weeks. Maybe in the same time around DeMarcus Lawrence is getting back. Jerry was on the radio today on the Fan saying it will be iffy for Micah Parsons this week. I don't think he'll play. I think they'll use the bye week, and he comes back for San Francisco. So how do you play with no defensive ends? Well, KJ Henry got here last week. He's going to have to play and be active now. Add him with Chauncey Golston, Carl Lawson, Tyrus Wheat. I mean, you're talking about the purple people eaters right there. I mean, these guys are going to just be so. And look, I know everybody and we can go down this path if you want, but everybody looks at the Cowboys. They got $20 million in cap room, and they can go do this. Absolutely, they positively can. Nothing in their DNA recently should suggest that they actually will.
No, and the thing that'll piss me off if I were a fan. Is that you got this money and Jerry, well, it's earmarked. Can we win this year? Can we focus on this year about winning? I realize you got to deal with the budget and all this other stuff, but sometimes in a case where it's needed, can we spend some money to win this year? Can we put some of that aside to win this year?
Absolutely. And it's not earmarked for Micah. It's earmarked for guys that aren't going to be on their team next year. Right? So Lawrence next year counts basically $7.5 million against their cap. Now they can re-sign him, but he's at least going to count $7.5 on the cap next year. Zach Martin's going to count $9.4 million against their cap as a potential June 1 cap casualty if they don't redo his deal. And Brandon Cooks is going to count $4 million against the cap. So you add all that up, that's $20 million right there.
Right.
So, you can still sign whoever you want to sign or trade for whoever you want to trade, whatever you want to do. Are you really going to give up? What do you want to give up for Devontae Adams, Jacques, or a defensive end, right? It's got to be a second, third round pick, maybe plus. Well, Devontae Adams is a rental, so you're talking now 12 games. You're going to give up third round pick? I don't think that's something you're smart to do.
Can't do that.
So that's where, I'm with you. If you're a Cowboys fan, you're like, I don't care about 2025. I care about 2024. But in the Cowboys and a lot of teams and how they operate, it is caring about the present and the future when they're thinking of their salary cap situation.
All right. Now, I will say this. Maybe if they had, I hope this does not look like a championship caliber team to me. I don't care what Jerry says.
Who does?
Maybe
that's the one thing I was wondering.
Well, some teams you look at it like last year's team. You looked at it and said, "Okay, I can see us winning the championship." If you're a Cowboys front office person, or I think you could look at it and be like, "Hey."
But when did you start thinking that though?
Shoot, I can't lie to you. I can't remember. I don't know.
Because they were 3-2 after 5 games last year too.
Let me see. Let me look at the schedule right quick. Because y'all know I'm a beacon of hope, faith, and optimism about the Cowboys.
So you started really thinking about that in November.
Yeah, probably right around the trade deadline.
5 in a row.
Yep.
Yeah, because they just it probably wasn't. It's probably after they beat the Eagles. So you're right. Well, hell, that's December. That's after the trade deadline, so they couldn't have done anything anyway. Maybe it was Seattle, because I think we thought Seattle was a decent team right then. So what we're saying right now is man, it just doesn't look like a championship team. Maybe by the time you got to November and guys are coming back and guys are playing well and they win a bunch of games in a row, maybe you are thinking that. But right now, if the Cowboys were to play Minnesota, would you think they have no chance of winning? No, because Sam Darnold's the quarterback. So
Washington's 4-1. Would you say they have no chance of beating Washington twice in either game that they face them?
Because as much as I like the youngster, they ain't beat nobody yet.
So same thing with Detroit. You might want to say. My point is, you wouldn't say they have no chance of beating all these teams right now, right? So, and not so much because of what the Cowboys are, but because there's still so much left unsaid about these other teams. Is Jaden Daniels really going to complete 80% of his passes for the entire season? You know what I'm saying? At some point, he has to come back to earth, doesn't he?
Yeah, I don't know. You started sounding like a robot for a minute.
Man, I'm starting. You starting to make me believe, which I don't want to believe.
No. I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to do that. What I'm trying to do is you don't have to be a championship team on October 8th.
Right. But sometimes you got to make some moves
Yes.
Well, I don't know. But I was saying, sometimes you got to make some moves to make sure that you stay there.
Right. And I think they can, and maybe they will make moves, but it's not going to be the moves that everybody – it's not going to be a Devontae Adams. It's not going to be the high-end pass rusher or it's not going to be a guy we've clamored for or fans are clamoring for at positions of, at running back, at wide receiver, at offensive line, at defensive line right now. That's just not – I don't see that happening because that's not been their MO. Really, they traded a 1 for Amari, but I can see them. They probably have to. All right, I'm just gonna say it. They could probably trade for Amari Cooper because by the time you get to the trade deadline, it's going to cost you like $600,000.
Yeah,
okay, I'm okay with that one.
Yeah. No. So speaking of that, because we know you got to go. What were your thoughts on Jalen Tolbert and Rico Dowdle?
I think we're starting to see that the running back committee is turning into a running back of one.
And I don't have any problem with that. Yeah,
it's a good thing. Yeah.
In the last 3 games, Dowdle has 100 snaps. Zeke has 47.
Right.
And I thought it was interesting. I asked Schottenheimer this, Dowdle after the game was saying, "I just needed to slow down," which sounds stupid and weird in a way, right? Because what do you mean you got to slow down? You're a running back, you're supposed to go fast. No, it's let things develop and slow down isn't go from a 10 miles an hour to 2 miles an hour. It's going from 10 miles an hour to 8.75 miles an hour.
Let me help you if I could. The great Clarence Shelton, running back coach for the Cowboys in the late, sometime when Chris Warren was here, whenever that was. He told me one time it was patience to the hole, accelerate through the hole. How about
slow to go is what Brian Schottenheimer was telling us yesterday. And I think you've seen that. So, yeah, you've seen that the last couple of games with Dowdle. That's my thought on the running back and Rico. And, it seems like they're trending in that direction where this might not be the committee we all thought it was going to be. Or maybe it was just a guy who got hot and they stuck with him. But
and then let me give you guys, for you guys listening, the ultimate, the extreme slow to the hole, accelerate through the hole was who, Todd? Le'Veon Bell.
Oh, okay.
Kurt Warner before him.
Well, even Emmett was kind of slow. Emmett was that way too. That's how I remember him from not being around here, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
He was patient and then boom, he'd go.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So now y'all got a picture of it. And then what'd you think about Jalen Tolbert?
Happy for the kid because it was a slow start for him. Obviously, I think his lasting memory for a lot of folks was lining up offsides against Green Bay up there as a rookie, and he's proven that he's a player. He can do some. Look, I'm saying he's a player. He can help the team. I'm not saying he's going to be an all-pro and a Pro Bowler, but he's a guy that Dak counts on, and all the work that he's put in is finally starting to pay off, and that's what you want to see. It doesn't always happen right away for a lot of these guys. Third-round pick. They almost took him in second round that year. But he's a guy that can help. And, if Cooks is going to miss another 3 games, if he can continue that way, then when Cooks comes back, you've got you got a better wide receiver room than what you had when you started the season.
Right. I think that's all you can ask for. And all you can ask for is continued improvement of guys. And Jalen, I read a quote from him that was, kind of like how I tell people they should live their life, which is he's like, I waited my whole life for an opportunity, a real one, and now he got it. And when I say real, I mean, okay, they can, but you're there. Brandon Cooks ain't coming back for a month. You got all the opportunity you need to show your worth and your value over this month period so that when he comes back, they like, oh, Cooks is back, but hey, Tolbert got a role in the offense. And that's what this next month is all about for him. And he took a good step toward it Monday night. Last question, my friend. How you see the Detroit game going?
We're going to find out if the run defense is actually fixed or is it a product of playing limited offenses the last 2 weeks in the Giants and the Steelers.
I would agree
those two backs are better than what they've faced The offensive line is certainly better than what they have faced the last two games. Huge challenge. And then, the game last year, the Lions probably thinking that was stolen from them. But the way that the whole reporting offensive lineman thing and all that went down, this is going to be a huge challenge for their defense because Goff doesn't miss on passes. Right. He's evidently, and he's playing as good as he's ever played. They have threats on the outside. They have threats at tight end. They have a good offensive line. Maybe their defense. I mean, Hutchinson, he probably leads the league in sacks or something, right? Right. And I'm not even thinking of it, but their defense, in my mind, can still be had to a degree,
right?
But they're opportunistic, and their defense reminds me of the way. Oh gosh, Doc, why can't I think of his name? The cornerback who played for the Cowboys in 2006 with Parcells. He's the defensive coordinator. He went to A&M, played for the Jets forever. Aaron Glenn. Aaron Glenn and now this hit me. Aaron Glenn and Jordan Lewis kind of remind me of the same guy in some respects.
Yep.
Short, feisty, going to fight your ass off, never going to give in, but they're going to give up some stuff. And I think that's like the Lions defense plays the way Aaron Glenn did. He's going to do a lot of things really good, but they can also give up some stuff too. So that's why the Cowboys offense better be ready to score some points. And as McCarthy said, we got to win a home game. They're 0-2 at home, and they're 3-0 on the road. So, when's the last time the Cowboys lost 3 straight home games? Off the top of my head, I'm going to go back to
Dak when Dak hurt his ankle.
I was thinking maybe 2020, but I think they actually 2015 maybe when Romo got hurt. Hold on, I'm going to look this up. What are we saying? 3 straight home games that they lost.
Yeah.
Arizona, Pittsburgh. Yeah, that would be it. Last time they lost 3 straight was 2020.
All right, I was going to say that was probably the year Dak got hurt, so that
was the year Dak got hurt.
And see, that don't even count to me. It would be when's the last time they had their starting quarterback and lost 3? And
now you're making me do some work.
Like even in 2015, they probably
Romo played 3 games.
I was going to say, see, they didn't have their starting quarterback, so okay, I get it. And yes, they lost 3 in a row at home that year too.
And those are maybe those 8-8 seasons, but I would assume they won most of those 8 games at home than they did on the road.
All right.
So I don't know. I'll look that up and I'll text it to you.
All right, sounds good. I appreciate you, bro.
All right. Thanks, guys.
I'll see you out there tomorrow. That's
Sounds
Todd
good.
Archer, brought to you each and every Wednesday by Smokey John's Barbecue, home of the Jam Session Bowl, which is on the secret menu. So if you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. But now you do. Did you follow that? Jam Session Bowl. Go out there and get you some. Jam Session Bowl is a mac and cheese or a mashed potato base, and it's got all your choice 3 out of 5 smoked meats. I usually rock with the brisket, the sausage, and the hot link, and then all that stuff you find on a loaded baked potato, they give it to you, and they give it to you hard, and it's bacon bits, sour cream, cheese, butter if you get down like that. But and then they drench it with sauce or they drizzle it with sauce. Either way, it is fantastic. But that's the Jam Session Bowl. They're out there right now at the State Fair. They got the Smokey John's concession set up, and right next to it is the Jones Deli. And the Jones Deli is where they got the world famous, at least that's what it feels like to me, pastrami sandwich. Comes with steak fries and some of the thickest, hardiest looking pickles you've ever seen. But the pastrami sandwich is fantastic. Joe and I both sampled the pastrami when we were out there a couple weeks ago. It is food to live for. If you need some Smokey John's in your life and you can't get by the storefront at 1820 West Mockingbird, all you got to do is go to the website, SmokeyJohns.com, hit on the marketplace, click the link, and then you can get the sauce and the rub sent to your house in a couple of days. You can also go to any HEB in DFW, any of them, Mansfield, Burleson, Burleson, Frisco, Allen, Waxahachie. They all carry Smokey John's rub, Smokey John's sauce, which is fantastic. And then, if you're in the Duncanville area, 67 in Wheatland, you can go by Joe V's Smart Shop. and get the sauce to rub and the banana pudding. There's no reason not to have Smokey John's barbecue in your life. It is food to live for. It is fantastic. And on that note, my brother, let's get to the block. I had the rare occurrence yesterday, bro. And I'm interested to hear a little bit of your take on this. I had a good experience at the doctor's office. Now, most of y'all be like, what that mean? And what that means to me is, now, for my part, I tried to follow instructions, man. I did all that paperwork they make you do. I actually did that online before I got there. But I got there, my appointment was at 1:20. And I got there at 1 o'clock. And guess what time I walked into the doctor's office, dog? 1:20. I was shocked. Because we all been to the doctor's office and your appointment's at a certain time and you don't get in to see the doctor for 30 minutes. And I got in there and I was talking to the, I don't know what the official titles are, but like, I call her the nurse practitioner who comes in, you might know, who comes in and takes all your vitals, your blood pressure, all that stuff. She was very pleasant and I had a couple questions and she answered those and then she left. And then again, this would be more like the doctor's assistant, who asked me a whole bunch of series of questions and did some, check my heart rate and my blood, my reflexes and all that stuff. And asked me a bunch of questions. And she was very, very pleasant. And then the doctor came in and he was pleasant. And then I had some blood drawn. The woman who did that was very nice. And the dude who gave me a shot. When last time you had a shot, Doc?
I don't know. I think maybe COVID. Maybe last year COVID, a flu shot. I don't know. Something like that.
Well, what's funny is I got this shot yesterday for tetanus. And I turned down the flu shot. We'll talk about that in a second. And I was trying to figure out why my arm was still sore yesterday afternoon. I was just like, damn, why's my arm sore? And I was like, oh, I got a shot.
Yeah, it's
and it's funny.
There.
Is that what it is? Because the shot itself did not hurt.
They injecting you with something.
Yeah, so why does that hurt? You said it's the fluid in there? That's what hurts?
Yeah, I've gotten.
I mean, it's a pain in the ass. It don't really hurt.
In the military, I've gotten 7 shots at one time.
Now, that seemed like that'd hurt from a buildup of just shots.
Yes. And the only reason I got 7 shots is because I used to fake my shot records. If we didn't deploy, I didn't want to get no shots. So I didn't want to get.
No, I can't imagine you faking. I can't imagine you faking your shot records. Though.
Well, if you didn't, you did what you call a palm, and that's where you get ready for deployment. You get your will, you get your power of attorney, you get all your shots current, and then sometimes they do that. You don't go nowhere.
Right.
A lot of times they do that. You don't go nowhere. You done got plague 2, plague 3, or whatever shot you're supposed to get. So I had one of the medics. I said, "Hey, check this out, man. I'm going to do for you, you do for me. I'm going to show you my shot records, and I don't want this mess, and I'll come back. If we got to get deployed, I'll come back, get all shots. But I ain't fooling with that. I don't like all that." So it was a Friday. I go up to the medic. I say, "Hey, where's Jones at? Jones don't work around here no more."
Oh, shit.
"Let me see your shot records." Well, damn. It was a Friday, and I'm about to go home to Arlington from Fort Hood. And them fools said, oh, you don't got nothing on here.
We got a runner.
Hallelujah. Yeah, they just started getting, they went and got the youngest private they had.
Oh, no.
Shaking, nervous. And he started giving me shots. And I look over there, and they start holding up scorecards. 9.5, 2.6. I said, y'all enjoying this shit too much. So I think I got 3 in one arm, 2 in another arm, 2 in the ass. And then I had to drive home Fort Hood to Arlington. By the time
2.5 hours?
By the time I got to Hillsborough, I couldn't lift my arms.
Damn,
So,
dog.
yeah, that's seven shots, dog. I never did that again. I thought I was smarter than them, but I got caught.
That's funny. You made me think, man. One time, my dude had to go to school. He was probably in the 6th grade, and they checked his shot records, And they're like, you missing a few, young man.
Yep.
And I was like, I've been taking to, I mean, you know, I thought he was good. They're like, nah, we don't have this. And, you know, it don't matter what you tell them. If it ain't on that little piece of paper, it don't count. And so I said, hey, man, I'm sorry, dog. You got 3 shots coming. And I remembered it, man, because I saw a picture on Facebook or something, because you know how I am. Talking about AJ took them shots like a man today because he had to get 3 of them. So it was a good trip to the doctor. I think more doctors should be like the doctor I ran into yesterday. He's very personable. And then I said, hey, let me ask you this. And I asked him a couple questions, and he gave me some really good answers. And then I asked him a question. I said, I promise you, this has nothing to do about me, but I have a friend. Tell me how this whole kind of disease thing this person has works. And he said, well, obviously I can't speak in specifics, but in general, it works like this, this, and this, and da-da-da-da-da. And I asked him 3 or 4 follow-up questions because y'all know how I am. I'm just be curious about stuff. And he answered them all, and he was like, okay. And then he told me a story. He said, you know, I had a friend of mine who had the exact same disease that a friend of yours has, and he told me about that situation with him, and it was cool just to have a back and forth with the doctor. And then he said, now how come I can't convince you to take a flu shot? I said, I gave you this tetanus shot. He said, yes, you did. I said, I'm not giving you the flu shot, man. And he looked at me and said, why? I said, because I took a flu shot once and I got the flu. And he said, I don't believe that. I said, why don't you believe me? He said, because it's a dead virus. We're not putting a live virus into you. I said, you're telling me that from a physician's perspective. I'm telling you from a layman's perspective. I took the shot one time and I got the flu. Now, a friend of mine is a doctor. I happened to run into him yesterday doing some stuff. And I asked him, I said, hey, doc, tell me about the flu shot. I said, do you take a flu shot? He said, no. I said, why my doctor trying to push on me to take a flu shot? He said, well, it can be good. He said, but here's the problem with the flu shot. The flu is always metamorphosizing. Is that a word, Joe?
Yeah.
Okay. It's always evolving. It's always changing. So they could give you a shot. And the shot, if you come in contact with the flu strain from 2020, 21, 22, 23, you good. If you come up against the new shit, you're going to get the flu. I said, and what are the odds? He said, about 50-50. I said, then I ain't taking that extra shot then, dog. I said, I've been good without here. I believe in trying to eat right and be healthy and ward off a lot of stuff. And I've probably been sick like that. What I had was probably the flu. I know I had it for once in 2012. And I've been sick, I think, one other time since then with something like that. So to me, that's not very often. I'm not a very sickly person at all. And so I just try. And when I get something, I try to fight that thing off and over-medicate and make it disappear, within a day or two without it really affecting me all that much. Now, you a flu shot guy?
I just told you, yeah, I took a flu shot.
I mean, you took it from the service. Do you take it just in general?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't have a problem with it. I mean, all the shots I took in the service, I used to glow in the dark, so I don't have no problem with a flu shot. I mean, I've taken all kinds of stuff.
Let me ask you this, and I asked this because this came up. Did you take the shingle shot?
No.
Okay.
I wasn't offered that.
Well, next time you go to the doctor, just inquire about it. And here's why. My last doctor I had was cool too. And he told me, now y'all know how I am. I question everything. He said, hey, if you had the shingles vaccine? I said, nope. He said, you want to get it? I said, yep. I said, you know why? He said, no. I said, because my dad called me about a month ago and said, next time you go to the doctor, get the shingles vaccine. I said, why? He said, because I have shingles, and let me tell you, you don't want nothing to do with this. And so I said, okay. And so when it was offered, I just took it based off my dad's recommendation. So again, I bumped into my doctor friend.
Keep that in mind.
No, for real. And so I bumped into my doctor friend yesterday. And we talking about the flu. And I said, hey, doc, because they asked me if I had the shingles yesterday. I said, hey, doc, did you take the shingles vaccine? He said, you damn right I did. I said, why? He said, my brother got shingles in his 30s, which is much younger. Normally it shows up in your 50s. He said, my brother got shingles in his 30s. He said it was the worst thing ever. He said he had this rash, and he couldn't even take a shower because anything to touch your skin is like somebody hit you in the head with a hammer 100 times. And he said he was so miserable and talked so bad about shingles that I just decided I didn't want to even take a chance on it. So I got the shingles vaccine just because of that. I said, all right. I said, yeah. I said, my dad told a similar story. So, I questioned everything. But on that recommendation, I was like, oh, no. My dad said, and my dad is like not somebody who is, he got a high pain threshold. So when he talked about it, I was like, oh, if it got him feeling some kind of way, I don't even want to touch that thing. So I went and got the shingles thing. And so if you're a man between over 50, I would just say next time you're at the doctor, just inquire about the shingles vaccine if you hadn't gotten it, and make your own decision based on what your doc tells you. But that was my experience with it. And so I was very pleasantly surprised. A lot of black men don't like to go to a doctor. That's why we spend a lot of time talking about it today. Because I like to put out some PSAs every now and then. Take your ass to the doctor. And, here's why. It ain't really about you, even though it's about you. It's about your family. Figure out what's going on with your body. If there's something there, maybe you can catch it early. If it's not, then you got peace of mind. But don't be afraid of the doctor. Go to the doctor. Take all the humiliating tests, as I like to say, that you need to take to make sure you're going to be around for your family as long as you can possibly be around. And then find a doctor that you like. And if you don't like a doctor, keep going to different ones till you find one. Although, I don't know if you've experienced this because you're in the service. It is hard as hell to be a new client for a doctor, man. And so I asked the doctor's assistant yesterday. I was like, I called several doctors and they were like, we're not accepting new patients. I said, why is it so hard to get on with doctors? And you know what that woman told me, man? And I'd never even thought about it. She said, there's a shortage of doctors. I said, really? She said, yeah. She said, it's a shortage of doctors. And there's a lot of people with health issues. And so if you think about it, there's a shortage of doctors. And a lot of people have issues. And so doctors are overworked and general practitioners. So it's hard to get in because they got clients from the time they open up at 8 o'clock to the time, she said patients, not clients. From the time they open up at 8 o'clock until they shut down at, 5 o'clock. They got patients all day, every day. So that's why they're not accepting new patients, because they literally don't have time to treat them. I said, well, damn. And you know what's true about that? I got in at this office. This was not my first choice. This was just the first one that would accept me. I got in at another doctor's office, which is the one I wanted to go to. And I made this appointment last month in September. Take a guess what my appointment is.
I don't know.
February, middle of February.
Yeah.
I was like, you got nothing between now and the middle of February?
No, it's gonna be a while.
She said, are you really sick or are you just getting a physical? I said, a physical? She said, nope, got nothing till the middle of February. I said, damn. Okay. So I made that one and then I found this one in between. I'll probably go check out the other one because I don't mind going to the doctor. But I like the people over there and where I went. And so I liked everybody I came in contact with. This is how much I liked them. I told him I needed a referral to a chiropractor. And he said, for what? I said, well, my hamstring's bad. They're doing the deep tissue thing. He said, okay, because I really don't like chiropractors. Now, y'all know we represent CTC Chiropractic on the show. And I've been to chiropractors for the last 15 years. So I was curious. I said, well, how come you don't like chiropractors? He said, well, I just don't like them. Don't ever let one crack your neck or adjust your back. And of course, I get it done weekly. And I was just like, well, how come you don't like them? He's like, well, there's a lot of things people say go wrong with it after doing that for a period of time. Now, look, Joe was sitting there smirking like, you didn't have this approach when we were talking about card distribution 20 years ago at the card show. Your ass kept on talking then. but I've grown and matured, my friend. So I'm not finna argue or debate with a doctor who I like and whose personality is great about the benefits of chiropractic, because he got his own philosophy, and chiropractors are really holistic. They believe that you can take the body and fix the body without using a bunch of medicine. Doctors in general like to prescribe medicine, so they kind of philosophically opposed. And so it doesn't surprise me that a medical doctor would be like, why would you ever go to a chiropractor?
Well,
Just like a chiropractor. Go ahead.
You have to learn, like you said, you done matured. I hope with this age.
Yes.
You have to learn when the moment when it ain't worth talking about. Whether you don't want to get in a fight or whether you like the relationship as it stands.
Yeah.
That's like when we was at the restaurant when we shot the commercial that day.
Right.
And the guy goes, Kamala or Trump? No, he said Kamala or Trump.
Yeah.
And I immediately looked at him and I said, I don't talk politics, sir.
Right.
And we had a job to do.
Right.
And so it's one of them things where at that point, you could have got into a deep discussion about it. It probably would have been okay. And it might not have been okay. I don't know him.
Right.
But my maturity said, this is not 2016. I'm not going to change my mind.
Right.
Yeah, why we worried about all that? So I'm going to leave that alone.
Yep. Let you do you. I'm gonna be me.
There you go. It's gonna be all good.
Right.
So there you go.
So great conversation with the doctor. But that was all part of it, and he ultimately wrote me my referral. and so I'm going to get my hamstring probably worked on for the last time. I'll leave you with this, dog. This is some hike talk. I set a PR on the hike this week. Shaved 2.5 minutes off my best time. Shaved almost, 2.5 minutes off my best time. But I had my first fall, dog. It was a quick fall, but you'd be surprised. Even a quick fall will leave you banged up. I don't even know what I tripped over. Probably some root sticking out the ground. I was probably on the ground for a second, because it was important to me, because I scraped my knee and my palms a little bit because I caught myself, but I kind of jammed my shoulder when I did it because I had so much force falling to the ground. But I was like, I was probably 2 miles into the hike. I'm like, if I settle down or take a minute to examine everything, I might stiffen up, and then it's gonna be a pain in the ass for the last 2 miles. So because I was already loose and feeling good, I just kind of sucked my way through it. But it was good to get the first fall out the way. I done almost fell 100 times since I've been out there. If you're going to be out there on any kind of regular basis, you're going to fall or trip or stumble at some point because you're walking over, logs and rocks and all this other stuff. So it's just part of the deal. But it was kind of good to get it out the way, although I ain't had a strawberry on my knee like this since we was playing football, man. And you forget how much some things burn and how much it take about a week to get a damn scab on it. So every time you accidentally hit it, you like, ah! So anyway, those are my hiking adventures this week.
Well, the thing about it is when you hiking, you 57. When you hiking, you feel 37. When you fall, it reminds you, I'm 57.
Dog, take it to the next level. When I woke up the next day, I felt 67.
There you go.
I felt so bad. I went to the gym and I did the stretching exercise they tell you supposed to do every day. I did them things because I was like, I'm tight, I'm stiff, I'm sore. I need to do this and see if I can alleviate some of this.
Yeah.
So I don't know whether that helped or not, but that was good a couple days later.
Yeah, that ground can come up fast on you.
Bro, I'm glad I'm only 5'9". Because you're right, it came up in a hurry. But the block is always presented by who? CTC Chiropractic. 3 locations. DeSoto, Trinity Groves, Frisco, South, Midtown, North. You got no excuses not to come check out CTC Chiropractic. They keep my body aligned. I was there early on Monday And I felt great when I left the office. And then I felt even better on Tuesday, which is today, when I woke up, because a lot of the soreness I had been alleviated. He put my body back in alignment, so my lower back was feeling great. And again, just like you go over a bunch of potholes with your car and your car gets out of alignment, your body gets out of alignment just from everyday life. You step off a curb wrong, you fall on a hike, and you jostle some things around. And all the chiropractor does is put your body back in alignment and eliminate the interference that comes from things pushing up against your spinal cord, causing interference. Now, that being said, you ain't got to take my word for it. I would advise you, just go by CTC Chiropractic. Check them out. $47 first visit. You're not going to beat that anywhere around Dallas, where they give you an exam, they take some x-rays, and they give you your first adjustment. That's all important. An exam to see what's really bothering you, an x-ray to validate that what you said is really bothering you comes up on the x-rays, and then adjustment to see if it to put your body back in alignment. And then you make your own decision after that. Did it help? Did it not help? It's simple. It ain't even complicated. Either you feel a difference or you don't. If you do, come on back and give CTC Chiropractic a chance to keep your body aligned henceforth and forevermore. So again, 3 locations: DeSoto, Trinity Groves, Frisco. Tell them your boy JJT sent you, and you can send me a thank you note later. You can always follow the show. Lincoln Coleman, explosive. I'm serious, explosive. JacquesTalk 101 episode coming out today. By the time you look at this, you should be able to find it. All right, it's Wednesday noon today. That's what I'm talking about. And then you can follow the YouTube channel at The Real JacquesTalk. Hit me up. You can follow us on IG at The Real JacquesTalk. Hit me up on Twitter, X, at JJT Journalist. If you think you follow me, you don't. I think my account was killed because I refused to pay the terrorists, and so it got eliminated. But that's okay. And then I'm on Clapper at I Am Jean-Jacques Taylor. For Big Joe and the Big Rig, until we chat again, you guys be